Friday, guys, and welcome back for this week's Brew the Tea with Shelby. I just want to thank everyone for all their support with the purchase of Diminished Dreams. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. If you haven't checked out my interview with Core Magazine, and if you haven't checked out my new review or the review of the book, from Bibilo Beauty Books, go make sure that you go to my page and you check out all the posts so that you can get all updated. Also, I will also be putting up all the videos from Brew the Tea with Shelby, so make sure that you guys check out everything. So this week's Brew the Tea with Shelby, I just wanted to start off by reading. Hi, Chelsea, how are you? Thank you for joining me. So I just wanted to start out by reading an excerpt from the book to really start this week's topic off. This is from the chapter Self-Destruction. This is from Self-Destruction. It reads, his body froze as the cold metal touched his skin. Cherry found the fear in his eyes enticing. She pushed the gun closer. He jerked with fear. Please, I'm sorry. I'll leave right now, he pleaded. Too late for that. That's the problem with you selfish humans. You think everything works on your time, but nothing is given to you in this world. There is a price to pay for everything. Cherry spoke through clenched teeth. I didn't give you a good time. You paid for it. You didn't give me money. She leaned in closer. I worked for it. The man trembled with fear. Cherry was slowly going insane. Please don't kill me. I just want to get back to my wife, he pleaded again. His words pissed Cherry off even more. Your wife? That's what you really care about, huh? Cherry asked. Your stupid wife. What happened to caring about me? I've given you my body, my soul, and all you want to do is go back to that stupid wife, Cherry screamed, backing up from the terrified middle-aged man. I am so tired of you men. I am so tired of being used. I have feelings too. What does she have that I don't have, huh? Tell me, Dante, what does Castell have that makes you love her more than me? Cherry asked. I'm not Dante, he stammered. Who is Castell? Cherry stood silent with her mouth open. She put the gun down and backed away with her eyes still focused on him. Get out, she whispered. What? Get out! Get your stuff and get out of my house, Cherry yelled. She picked his things up off the floor and threw them at him. He moved as quickly as possible, throwing on his pants and grabbing what he could. He ran down the steps with his things in his arms, with Cherry chasing behind him. As he swung the front door open, there was Josh on Cherry's front step. Who are you? Josh asked. Cherry, are you okay? What the heck is going on? Josh stepped in the door. What are you doing here, Josh? Cherry asked with an attitude. Please, I just want to go home. I don't want anything to do with this, the man pleaded. The mere sight of him angered Josh. You don't want anything to do with this, and yet here you are, a grown man, half naked, with a half-naked 17-year-old. I wonder how the police would feel about that, Josh snarled. Mind your business, Josh, Cherry scolded. She told me she was 25. She played me, the man explained. Oh, please. Whether I was 17, 20, or 25, you didn't care. You were just glad someone like me wanted to lay down with you. Shut up, Cherry, Josh said. He got closer to the man and looked deep into his eyes. If I ever catch you in this house again, or anywhere near here again, I'll make sure when they lock you up that she wasn't the only one wanting to lay down with you. Got it? Josh's voice was hostile and shaky. The man shook his head yes, then jetted out the door. Josh closed the door behind him. As he turned around, Cherry landed a burning slap across the face. Who do you think you are? Don't you come through here kicking out my customers, especially when you don't pay the bills around here, Cherry scolded as she put her hands on her hips. Josh rubbed his face and looked at Cherry with disappointment. She forced herself not to look at him. He stepped closer to her. What's going on with you, Cherry? I thought you got past this. I thought you wanted to do better, Josh asked. I did. Then those who promised to be by my side left me hanging, so I had no choice but to do what I needed to do for me, Cherry expressed nonchalantly. Oh, please, Cherry, cut your crap. No one left you. Yeah, I promised to have your back if you did what you told me you were going to do. Remember? You said you were going to put all the old geezers and bad habits behind you. But every time I gave you money for bills, I found you giving it to the local dealer. Josh blasted. You remember that? And now look, once again, I catch you doing something. Oh, Josh, shut up. I am so tired of you and all your stupid judgments, Cherry yelled. I do what I do to make sure I'm good. Point blank, period. No one has ever looked out for me just because. I always have to do something in return. I ask for help to do better. I need to do it on your terms. I ask for good friends. Castell only keeps me as a friend as long as she can walk over me. I ask for help when I'm sick, and all she does is lecture me like she's my mother. She thinks she is so much better than everyone else. Oh, and that stupid local dealer you're talking about made me do him and two of his friends just for a $20 bag of Hero. Like, are you kidding me? Cherry exclaimed. I am so tired of everyone. When is anyone going to love me? When is anyone going to have my back? Cherry cried. The salty tears dripped from her lips. Josh looked at her and in a moment of weakness wanted to hold her like he would have in the past, but a small voice in his head told him not to. He took a deep breath and said, You're pitiful, Cherry. All you do is want someone to feel sorry for you. When was the last time you asked me about my day? How is school? How am I doing? Huh? When? Josh asked. All you do is call when you need something, and I still always have your back. Not once have you ever given me a simple thank you. You're just as selfish and just as much of a user as all the people you mentioned. Josh finished. I hate you. I hate you, Cherry said. Josh felt his body get hot. You don't hate me. You hate yourself. Josh was no longer going to let Cherry bully him with her words. Cherry lifted her hand to smack Josh again, but this time he blocked her and pushed her away. She stumbled over her boots and fell into the wall. Gathering herself, she looked at Josh in shock. He had never been that aggressive, and she was surprised that he showed no remorse. He kicked Cherry's boots to the side as he moved toward her. You are the selfish one, he repeated. You think you're the only one who has no one to call or depend on? I've been bounced around since I was a baby too, Cherry. The frustration in Josh's voice escalated. I didn't understand what a home meant until my aunt took me in at the age of 8. But that was short-lived when the state gave custody back to my mom when I was 10. She only managed to stay sober for a few months, and then she was right back to the streets, junked up, Josh shouted. I did what I needed to do, Cherry, but not at the expense of my integrity. No one owes you anything in this world, and you have to learn to accept that. Again, that was from the chapter Self-Destruction in Diminished Dreams, my new book. I know that probably was it was more than a snippet, but I just wanted you guys to see a bit of the destructive behavior that Cherry experiences in this book. Now, my reason for reading that part of the book is to really bring us to the topic today, which is the importance of choices. As you heard in the book, Josh is one of the characters, and Josh, when you read in the book, is one of the characters who's actually a positive character. Regardless of what he's went through, he's the character that pushes through and actually achieves success. He doesn't allow the things around him to really break him down. And as you heard, him and Cherry actually lived similar lives. Both of them were abandoned and when they were babies, and Cherry was raised by her grandmother, where Josh, on the other hand, at a small time in his life, his aunt had custody, but then his mom actually went back and she actually was rewarded custody again. But as you heard, she didn't stay sober for long, and unfortunately, he really had to learn how to survive on his own. And I say that to the importance of choices. we all go through things in this world, and you have two characters who went through pretty similar rough situations. However, you have one, Cherry, who has now has created this entitlement in her where she feels everyone owes her something. She's constantly looking for people to love her and to do right by her. I mean, of course, we all have that moment where we're like, oh my goodness, why is everyone doing X, Y, and Z to me? But when you allow that mentality to consume you, then you create this pity for yourself, and you create this hardness around your heart that stops you from seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Josh, on the other hand, regardless of the fact that his mom, was never sober, the fact that he was bounced around from foster home to foster home as a child, regardless of all that he went through, regardless of feeling like people did things to him, I'm sure that he wanted to tell people, like, oh, you owe me, oh, you should have been there for me. I'm sure he was feeling that way as well. But instead of him dwelling on that and sitting in this mood of pity and sorrow, he said, you know what? I'm going to still push towards my goals. I'm going to still achieve what I want to achieve. I'm going to look at the light at the end of this dark and unhappy tunnel. And I say all of that to say is that we live in a society, we live in a world where we are surrounded with this idea that we're entitled to things. That, oh, life isn't fair, and because life isn't fair, whoever does something to us, that we should either get them back or we should dwell on it. Like, oh, I'm people owe me this. Someone always, we are living in a world that tells us that people owe us, or that it's not our responsibility to take it. We don't have to take responsibility for our own actions. Like the world, our environment, the negative environment that we've been in, has been so troubling to who we are, or it's caused us to have certain characteristics about ourselves, and so it's not our fault. It's the fault of our environment. And the society that we've lived in has completely removed this mentality that we had a choice, to do better, that we had a choice to live the life that we wanted to live. And unfortunately, what happens is a lot of people are cherries. They are blaming their environment, and they are using their environment as an excuse to live a life that is ultimately draining them, that's ultimately leading them down a road that's very poisonous. And what I'm here to tell you today in this Brew the Tea is that you have choices. Regardless of where you've begun in your life, at the end of the day, your destination or your end result does not have to be the result of the environment that you started with. You can decide, you can make the choice to go on a different path. If your entire family has never done something positive, or they've never graduated school, if they've never created a business, you make the choice to move away from that environment and step into a new environment, step on a new path, and be the first business owner in your life. Be the first college graduate in your life. Be the first person of religion in your life. You have the choice. We can make choices in this world, in this society. So I don't ever want you guys to believe that the environment that you are living in currently, or the environment that you grew up in, or the environment that you were born in, is your final outcome. You have the option, you have the ability to make choices and choose success. So I hope that in this month of March, this being the first Friday of the month of March, this being the 2nd of March, and this month of March, that you make the choice to do something new, regardless of whatever environment that you came from. Go out there and do something new. Be great in your own right. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Brew the Tea with Shelby. Be sure to check out all the videos that I am putting up. I just opened up my YouTube page. I'm still, working on it, building it up, making it look pretty for you guys. But make sure that if you missed any of the videos from Brew the Tea with Shelby, that you go out and you check all the videos. Make sure also to check out my interview with Core Magazine, and also check out the review for Diminished Dreams with Biblio Beauty Books, and make sure that you get your copy of Diminished Dreams today. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Make sure if you're in this New Jersey, New York area, you stay safe and you stay warm. And I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Just continue to stay amazing. Thanks, everyone.